Apologize for starting a little late here. We'll call the February 7th, 2024 meeting of the Fire Station Building Committee to order. We do have one member who is remote. So I will take roll call attendance. Chris Baker.
Here.
Justin Osik.
Here.
Justin Casanova Davis.
Here.
Chief Kinney. He can unmute himself or maybe write in the chat that he's here.
Say here.
He's here. I can see him. Thank you. Kevin Champagne here. So first order of business is public comment. All right. No public comment. Steve, you're up. OPM report.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Good evening, everyone. So OPM report for tonight, February 7th. I'll start as usual with progress since our last meeting. So the masonry interior chases and the granite lower band has started. The masons are back on site. Installation of mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and fire protection rough-ins are ongoing throughout the building. The app bay slabs are now poured in and completed. Installation of training stair number 2 is complete, except for a couple of small nosings on the stairs, but they are now usable as a set of stairs. Light gauge metal framing interior has continued on the first and second floor, as well as in-wall blocking. Door frames are set. The exterior air vapor barrier is ongoing. Exterior insulation, light gauge furring, and plywood is ongoing on the exterior of the building. The roofing installation of the membrane has been completed on the lower rear decks of the building. Going to be moving on to the front decks. Roof edge blocking and trim have been started. Window installation is, I think it's roughly 99% complete at this point. And temporary heating is an ongoing condition to maintain temperature. Photo documentation. Going back to the 17th of January, this was a shot of second floor corridor showing wall framing, sheetrock, and mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and fire protection rough-ins installed. Just a typical area on the second floor. Again, on the 17th, we got one of the shower stalls that has been installed and roughed in for the toilet rooms. Moving on to the end of the January the 31st, this is the west side of the building, essentially showing the progress of the exterior skin just before they go on to the siding. You've got the air vapor barrier, which is below this insulation board. There's furring strips that have been installed, and then the plywood goes on top of the furring strips, and then you'll have your siding starting. This is just another shot of that same wall on the west side, on the church side, showing the progression that the crew right now is got the insulation in, and they're installing the plywood skin. Also on the 31st, wrapping around to the front of the building, basically you can show in the corner here, there's our insulation thickness, and this is our fluid applied air vapor barrier, and then the membrane ABB that are around the windows and the door openings. It's just another shot of the same, a little bit farther back, showing the progression. All those windows installed, and they've got temporary poly in at the overhead doors to keep the temp heat in. And then this is a shot of the interior framing at the lobby at the front entry, and that is facing the triage room, and these two doors go into the app bay. Next two photos are the training stair. The training stair is galvanized and all metal grating, because firefighters will be using this as training, so there will be wet conditions in this stairway. That's just a view from the mid landing up to the second floor, which this room enters into the day room, this door. This is a view of the day room. Again, on the 31st, the end of the month, showing we got sheetrock at the top of the walls. It's been fire taped, conduit, ductwork, um, all the temporary lighting, wiring, all the rough-ins are ongoing. I wanted to show this. This is a shot of some of the conduit that's being installed by our site electrician. Bright light, very neat, very detail oriented. You see this throughout the project. They're really doing a good job as far as installing their electric scope of work. Very neat, very organized. Then also on the 31st, this is another shot of some of the framing. You've got some of the in-wall blocking for future cabinetry. There's a fire sprinkler head that will be flexible head that will eventually go into the ceiling once that's installed. Moving into February, this is the start of the granite band that goes around the exterior of the building. You can see above that is your insulation, your metal furring strips, and your plywood. And just another view of the mason setting a piece at the corner, the granite base band. Moving on to the 5th of February, just a view of the Baroque trim that's going on at the roof edge. Got your soffit and fascia that's being installed into the plywood sheathing, and then our siding will come in below that. Also on the 5th, there's a view from the upper roof of, this is the training deck roof in the back of the building. The roofers are in the process of putting down the EPDM membrane. There's actually 2 low roofs in the rear of the building. Both of those have been completed. And this is a view of the building from earlier today after the meeting, showing the progression of the exterior wall going basically from west to east along the front of the building. Any questions on progress to date?
Any questions from anyone? No? Good, Steve.
Look ahead schedule. Right now, on the look ahead, they want to complete the masonry chase walls and complete the exterior granite band. The roof is continuing with EPDM membrane. He's got some at the front of the building, and then they're planning on starting the asphalt shingles up on the sloped roofs. Interior metal framing will continue with blocking, sheetrock, and door frames. The fluid applied and the membrane AVB will also continue on the exterior. They're getting very close to having the building complete on that in that respect. They're going to continue the rigid insulation and clips system, the furring, plywood, and trim. They plan on starting the siding. The MEP-FPs will continue with rough-ins on both the first and second floor. And we're going to be doing a window infiltration testing. It's actually scheduled for this coming Monday with the building envelope commissioning agent. As far as, again, progress, Castagna through January is approximately 47% complete. They've just submitted the draft application for payment for the month of January, which we're reviewing. As far as schedule goes, we will be getting an updated schedule this week, but right now we're still on target for the contractual completion dates of C of O and FF&E in June, with the FD moving in July. As far as the long lead items, we had hoped the generator was going to be coming at the end of January, but we did get confirmation today that it should be coming based on the shipping. They're finishing up fabrication now, and it should be coming in sometime towards the 28th of February. So I'd say between the end of February, beginning of March. The generator should be on site, and they'll place it directly on the pad. As far as some of the owner purchases we've been talking about, station alerting system. Right now, the current revised price is down to $105,174. It's a zero missing there. We've got one small item to work out with Allcom as far as exactly where the antenna is going to be exiting the building, and he had included an allowance for that amount. But we've issued him a notice of intent to um, issue a purchase order and requested he start delivering any kind of special back boxes that are necessary to be installed, especially since we started sheetrock. The furniture, fixtures, and equipment. Our budget, inclusive of office office equipment, is $335,000. Right now, we're vetting through the final evaluation of a quote from Hertz Furniture for the furniture itself. That's at $186,761. There are some things that are not included in that, which we have placeholders for, which are the task chairs, exercise equipment, the dining table, kitchenwares, maintenance equipment, which I'm reviewing with Matt, the exterior grill, workbenches and toolboxes, and then the office equipment. So all told, we're at about $289,000, which right now we're about $46,000 under budget. Again, some of those are placeholders that will be fine tuned, but I think the FF&E is looking good at this point. Change order status. We had last meeting gone over a number of the items that are ultimately in the final change order number 3. We have added some additional, which I've highlighted here in bold, which I can go over. We are issuing that change order for signatures. It's coming to a total of $12,213.18. And a lot of that is because we have some credits that we've been working through with Castagna. First one being PCO 3R2 revised. We went through a number of iterations with this, but this was essentially water department wanting to change the domestic water from a 6-inch ductile iron to 2-inch PVC. And we've got a credit coming back of $13,497.48. PCO 13, we deleted the number of floor electrical and data boxes in the training room by 7. And that ended up being a credit of $10,182.32. PCO 16, we're deleting 2 wall-mounted radiant heating panels that were shown to be in the training stair. Essentially, that's going to be a wet stair area, so we wanted to remove those electrical devices. And that was a credit of $1,858.38. PCO 17, there was some revisions to the card readers at stair 1 and 2, and that was an add of $4,490.75. PCO 23, I'm skipping 18R because we reviewed it before. PCO 23, we added an electric outlet on the grill deck, which was $3,124.57. PCO 24R1, we had to delete ductwork and add a rooftop intake because there ended up being a lack of room for the ductwork that was shown originally on the documents. So that's an add of $15,797.88. And then PCO 25, the fire department wanted to add one more electric cord reel in the app bay. Sorry, that should say bay. And that was $929.17. Again, everything else we had reviewed at the previous committee meeting. So going on to the change order update and status, we now got 3 change orders totaling $117,285.56. The construction contingency status, we got a $8,850 construction contingencies, less change orders 1 through 3. And I put in a potential PCOs for PRs that are due to be responded to of about $50,000. That gives us still a remaining contingency of $841,564. So we got 83.4% remaining of our contingency. Again, there's sure to be things coming up, especially with the demolition of the existing building. But at this point, we're doing pretty good as far as holding on to our contingency money.
Yeah, because I think a couple slides ago you said construction's about almost 50%.
Correct.
Of the way through, and we're 17% through the contingency. Okay.
And this is just the construction contingency, not the other ones.
Yeah, not soft cost or
not. We have an owner contingency and we have a soft cost contingency also. So, and when you look at this an overall project, this I think we're less than 1% of the total construction value of 20 million plus on change orders at this point. That is my update today. If there's any questions.
Any question on change orders? Nope. Okay. That's the OPM report, Steve?
That is.
You're all done? Okay. Yeah. All right. Any other questions on the OPM report from anyone? No. Okay. Next discussion was update on change order 3, but I think you already went through that.
I did, yes.
Okay. Discussion item number 4, discuss Sun Chronicle news article. So I think Amanda attached it to the agenda. A reporter from the Sun Chronicle had reached out to me by email, and it looked like after when I read the article, he reached out to the chief as well, just looking. He was writing an article on how inflation may have impacted projects, and I think
supply chain.
Yep. And I think the chief and I kind of gave similar responses that I think our project, while I'm sure it was affected by inflation in the bids that we got, it's at least all been kind of baked into the numbers, and we haven't been dealing with it as it goes along. We had a couple long lead items of generator and air handling units, but those got worked through. And I think that's honestly, I said this in my response to him, that I think is a testament to the whole project team, Steve, Ron, you guys certainly, and then everyone on the committee, that I think we've had a few of hiccups related to supply chain and inflation as possible. I think if you read the article, some other towns are really kind of dealing with it to a greater extent than we have. So
yeah, the two Norton references were also my projects, but I don't know if anybody went actually on the Sun Chronicle link, but when you print the article out, you get a photo of that. That's a photo of the Norton Senior Center. But if you go on the link, there's a right and left arrow. There's 7 pictures total, and there are 2 photographs of the fire station in the link itself.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I didn't notice it right away either, but there's a couple photos of the Norton jobs, and then there's a couple of the other towns had some. There was a rendering of something in there.
Yeah. Okay. So I think kudos to everyone here. Steve, Ron, and everyone here on the committee. So, if there's anything else anyone wanted to add, Steve or Ron, anything to that, or?
I think it was a good article overall. I think it was informative in general for the public, because he did delve into not just 1 or 2 towns. He was sort of all over the place,
right,
getting information. So, but I thought it was a good article for our project here.
Yep, agreed. Okay. Next discussion item is furniture presentation.
Yeah, I sort of covered that in the OPM report too, just where we're at with the furniture and the other FF&E. So I probably could have left that off as an individual item.
Okay. All right, any other discussion items from anyone?
Probably will just say on the website for the recording of what I was saying a little bit earlier. The committee had wondered about what would be the next steps regarding solar on the fire station. So we spoke with town council, we spoke with bond council, and essentially, we don't have to do anything further with town meeting. We don't fall afoul of the private business requirement. Because there's a threshold that we needed to reach, and we're fine there. But they did say, bond council, if the funds we're using are exempt, which they are, then the credit of 30% will be reduced by 15% and impact the overall cost by about $7,400. And that figure came from Todd, so I want to say thank you to him and bond council and council. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I think when we discussed the solar at the last meeting, kind of tabled it for now until we kind of work through. I think working through our process, right? Okay. So,
So just relaying, it came in this week, so I'm on
Okay.
that committee. And also, I did run into a private resident of the town, and they just wanted to say that they've been impressed by the work of the fire station building committee. They really wanted me to relay that. They say, on an outside perspective, they felt this project is moving forward well, and they appreciate the work that everyone's done too. So I said I would relay that to the committee.
was that from any committee members' parents?
Or Justin.
No committee parents.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, if no other discussion items, then we'll move to action items. We took the furniture one off the list, so the only one is approval of meeting minutes.
All right, we have the January 17th meeting minutes. I've reviewed them and had no additional comments. So I'd like to ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All right, the roll call, Justin. Sorry.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Justin Casanova Davis. Jeff Champagne.
Yes.
Chief Kinney. I don't know if you
Yeah,
can come off mute or if you can type into the chat.
I'm a yes.
All right, thank you. And I'm also a yes. So is
All right, passes unanimously. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Anything else anyone wants to discuss?
So solar, I kind of said I'd look that up for you.
Sure.
So it's $115,000.
Okay.
Thank you.
And, that's to buy it outright. That's not a power purchase agreement. That is just, you buy it, you put it on the building and you immediately start reaping the savings.
Great.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you, Ron.
Mhm.
All right, if nothing else, then I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. So, second, all right, roll call vote, Justin Yanosek,
Yes.
Justin Casanova Davis.
Yes.
Chris Baker,
Yes.
Chief Kinney,
Yes.
Kevin Champagne, yes. All right, thanks, everyone. Took a little while to get off the ground, but moved through it quick.